Why would it matter? It's an air conditioning
old
unit.
building.
Yeah,
Do you know what
maybe.
this building used to be?
No.
It used to be a gay bar.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I love that.
Yep. Patrick's.
Wow.
It's where I had my 21st birthday.
I was going to say, I know this was fun. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Last week, was it?
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic.
It's last week.
Remind me who I'm supposed to look at.
Straight
Just
ahead?
whoever's
Straight
talking.
ahead.
Yeah.
Straight
Straight
ahead.
ahead.
Remember,
Yes.
the camera's on you.
The
Right.
biggest thing is keeping your mouth in here when you're talking.
Okay.
That's the thing. But, you know, if you ever looking to the left or the right, you'll be fine because the camera's straight on you. But you don't have to, look at the camera and, make faces and wink at it. It's not like that.
You should do it.
Jenna is the queen of faces.
I know.
She gives face.
Always.
I like it.
Always. And it's so bad. I've been told since I was a little kid to watch your face, and I haven't learned.
Never watch your
Told him
face.
that yesterday.
Use that face.
I think we are ready to go. 3 and 2 and 1. Welcome to episode 98 of Black, White, and Blue in the South, the podcast discussing Democratic politics with a Southern flair. I'm Bill Kimler.
I'm Jumelle Brooks.
And this is part 2 of our time spent with a number of candidates from across South Carolina. Last week, we heard from Katie Crosby of Lancaster County, Kelly Huff, who's working to represent Charleston and Dorchester counties, and Ashley Painter from Berkeley County. Today, we are focusing on Charleston County itself with 2 incredible candidates who may just appear on your ballot in November. Let us know what you think of this episode by dropping us a note at blackwhiteblueinthesouth@gmail.com. You can also interact with us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Take a quick peek at those award-winning show notes on your podcast app, where you can find links to all of these accounts, the news items we talk about, links to the candidates we're interviewing today, and more. And now, on with the rest of our show.
A Black, White, and Blue in the South exclusive.
We have 2 Charleston-based candidates with us today. First, let me introduce Jenna Arsenault from District 112. She's running for State House. And Katie Miller from Charleston County, running for County Council in District 1. Do I have that correct?
That's correct.
That's awesome. I am so happy to have the 2 of you here today. We got a chance to meet each other briefly last night at the Charleston County Gala, right? They had a fundraising gala.
That's
Charleston County Democratic Party Gala.
And the first thing that I need to know, were you able to ever secure some chicken at that event?
No.
No.
Oh, I was. You didn't get any chicken, Katie?
No,
I
but I
got
got
some.
mac and cheese.
Oh.
Well, congratulations again to the mac and cheese.
And
Yes.
cake.
And lots of cake.
That was
Cake
my dinner.
first.
The cake was good.
Yeah, it was
we
great.
enjoyed it. So we, Jumelle and I came down early last night to enjoy the Charleston fundraiser, and they had all of the celebrities there, starting at the top with Dr. Annie Andrews and Dr. Jermaine Johnson. Annie, of course, for U.S. Senate, Jermaine for governor, and they were fantastic. Great speeches given by them. And then the rest of the slate, from State Attorney General to Treasurer to Comptroller General, the whole slate, Superintendent of Education, Secretary of State, Treasurer, they were all there, and it was a party. It was really, really well done. So it was nice to meet you there. That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
The first time I met you, I cried on both of you.
So Jumelle gave me explicit instructions not to bring that up. Right? Did you not?
On the way down here, he was giving instructions, and he's been behaving so far.
She coached me saying, do not
But I
bring
said,
that up. So
don't bring it
now-
up.
But I'm glad you launched with that. So here's what happened. We were at the state fundraiser, something called the Blue Palmetto Dinner in Columbia several months back. And Jumelle and I were sitting there at a table enjoying the Greenwood people that we traveled with. And then up comes this woman that we've never met before. She gets down, squats down to our level where we were sitting, and she starts crying.
She does.
She does. And she's talking to us like, you have saved my life or something like that. I don't know.
I said, yes. I said you saved my life.
We saved her life or something. And she was talking about this show and how much it meant to her. And really, you and I were shell-shocked. Like even driving home that night.
We were still In awe, yeah.
We've had people say, hey, your show's funny, or, you guys could do better. Other comments happen all the time, but never
it was genuine,
This was like the teen fans with the Beatles back in the day.
I did fan out.
Yeah.
And I
never
did
had
not
that.
think that I would cry when I spoke to you, or I probably would have just skipped that. But I saw you from a couple tables away. I was walking somewhere and I saw both of you and my body froze. It was this reaction like, oh, they're real and they're here and I can speak to them. I think I found your show at a time where I was trying to figure out South Carolina politics.
Wow.
And I was like, no, but how am I going to learn this? You're a candidate. I'm for county, but you still have to understand what's going on in the state.
Yeah.
If a voter comes up and asks you something about redistricting, you can't be like, oh, well, that's not me. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
So you were able to really weekly break down the state house issues in a way that I could digest it. And I just appreciate it because there's just not many people doing that.
Yeah.
And the issues we talk about really do strike home and are important to people who pay attention. We were talking last week with Atchley about healthcare bills.
Yes.
That is a very, very real issue on our hands.
Absolutely.
And that will cause people to get emotional, right?
There's a lot of things going on in the state of South Carolina that can cause panic and fear, especially if you're a parent of young children. And so feeling like there's no control and not understanding how laws are made and who's voting can be terrifying. So having a show that can kind of show you who the players are and as things are moving through the House or the Senate is invaluable.
Right.
I think that was a reality check for us, though, because we show up and we do this all the time. But to see how passionate it was and where it came from, I'm looking at Bill going, Bill. And our eyes are having a full conversation. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah, Jumelle was giving me the look like, don't ruin this moment.
I said to him, and it was a hard stare. Every time you would close an eye, I would look at him and go, because I knew he would, if anybody was going to blow that moment, Bill would blow it.
I don't think anything would have blown it. I was really excited to
have to
see you
ask
guys
you-
in the flesh.
And then at the dinner, by the way, I came over to y'all and I was like, hey, I have this group of candidates. Do you want to record them all? Then I go back to my table where I have Katie.
I can't have you speak yet because you haven't been
Oh,
introduced.
I haven't been introduced.
We have to give
but
your
I
name.
have to tell you the story.
Yeah. So let's give your name and kind of where you fit into this picture.
And
So.
give the name
sorry.
correctly, please.
Yeah.
Dr.
There you go.
Jenny Atchley.
Welcome, Dr. Jenny Atchley. You are not a candidate.
I am not a candidate.
So what is your role here in this group?
So I am basically their campaign manager, but I'm in a consultant role with a lot of candidates. And so I am their mother, as they call me. They call me Dr. Mother because I keep them in check. I make sure that they do their call time. I make sure that they knock those doors, and I just make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
And really, you are the reason why we are all here today talking. This was your idea right there at that same dinner.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, I've got this gaggle we called it last week a hope of candidates.
Yes.
And why not get them all together to do an episode with us? And we said that would make a great excuse to come down to Charleston paired with the gala.
Yeah.
Made for a perfect opportunity. So thank you for this idea.
Yeah.
And we call them the Sassy Seven. And they're in a group chat together. And the group chat maybe has 250 plus messages a day.
You know what? Let's not bring up that group chat because it may get subpoenaed someday. So let's not talk about its
group
existence.
Chat? They don't even know each other.
Yeah, we don't know what
at
we're
this point.
talking about. So Katie, going back to your story of when you first met us, and now you're sitting here at the table on the show.
It's surreal.
Are you disappointed?
No.
Have we? Has your
great.
expectations been
Great.
completely blown away? Going,
It's so surreal. I want to pinch myself. I love seeing how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Jenna, we met you for the first time yesterday, and the question I'm going to ask you is, why didn't you cry? What was up with the lack of your response to meeting us for the first time?
Yeah.
We were kind of let down, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Well, there was no alcohol at the event last night.
That is true.
That might be
That
it.
is true. Katie, was that the reason why you had your emotional outburst?
Say no, Katie. Just go with no.
No.
Great.
All right,
Great.
we are running for office, so that
Yeah.
is a very, very good
Yes,
answer.
we'll say
We
no.
drink water and sweet tea on the campaign
Oh,
trail.
true.
That's right.
With lemon.
So
Yes.
Jenna, I want to start with you as a House candidate. Let's talk about where you're from, the district you're running in, and kind of what triggered you to launch this campaign for this seat.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us on. I appreciate it. I'm from Mount Pleasant, and that's part of Charleston County. And my district is 112, and that covers one half of Mount Pleasant, plus Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, and part of Awendaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I decided to run for office when Trump 2.0 started, and I just was disgusted in what I was seeing at the national level. And I felt that in South Carolina, our lawmakers were being emboldened to follow along in those footsteps of Trump and make some terrible, hurtful, just really disgraceful decisions for our state. And I didn't want to just sit back and do nothing. And I had a lot of anger, a lot of rage. And I thought, hey, I better channel this into something productive or it's not going to be healthy for my mental health.
Yeah.
So I went through Emerge, South Carolina, if you're familiar with that program.
I know somebody who went through Emerge.
There are a couple of us that have gone through.
Yeah.
So for the listeners, it's a 70-hour training program that goes over 6 months, and they take you from not knowing anything about running a campaign all the way up through being very knowledgeable about doing it.
Yeah.
So I thought, going through Emerge was such a great experience. So after I graduated last fall, I hit the campaign trail, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Katie, you're not running for state house. You've decided to attack this at the council level in Charleston.
That's right.
And this is county,
County,
right?
Yep.
So what was your triggering moment for you to say, I'm going to go attack this seat?
I was spinning out a little bit on national politics and local politics. I realized that just reading about it wasn't going to change anything or get me in a better state of mind about the world that my kids are going to be growing up in Charleston, South Carolina. And so Charleston is dealing with incredible overdevelopment issues. We are getting crushed by developer interests. There's 9 county council seats. We're divided up into 9 districts within the county.
Now, we see the same thing in Greenwood, but nothing compares to what we're seeing in Charleston. I mean, Greenwood, it comes up all the time. They want responsible growth and overdevelopment. It seems like all the green land is being taken down. But Charleston's at another level.
We're pretty built out, and our local officials should have seen this coming. All the coastal communities along the East Coast were expected to go through this rampant growth.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't anything in place to steer it to be healthier growth than what we have now. So I have a degree in environmental studies. So that doesn't make me like a city planner, but it does give me the information to know when I look around like, okay, that is a 20-year floodplain and there shouldn't be a house there.
That sounds so relevant to this role.
A lot of county council, people are like, what do you even do? It's land use. Yeah. What goes where, when, and how. So understanding how our land works in the low country, I think, is pretty valid.
Yes.
For zoning, what belongs where.
When we came in, I think we were probably on the way here, and I saw this apartment complex that was sitting down so low, and I said, ooh, that's too low, and Charleston floods.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to have somebody who thinks that way.
We're on the other side of the state. So what we know about Charleston comes through the news, and 90% of the time it's about flooding.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And we're pretending that the issue is not really dangerous for residents. It is. We're continuing to, even as we're overdeveloped, approve projects that are putting people in harm's way and will cause downstream flooding for residents that aren't even typically in a floodplain.
So people have a chance to bring in an environmental planner into county council. To me, that sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, even if you were a Republican running, if you had those qualifications, I'd be like,
I don't know.
I'd be giving it a look. It would cause me pause.
Depending on what you did in the background, what kind of voting record you had.
That's true. And I'll also share that looking at the county council, there are 9 seats on the county council.
Yes.
How many of them are currently occupied by women?
One.
And
she is stepping off.
Ooh.
To run for, it's Jenna Honeycutt. She's running for Congress.
So that's an empty seat. That's not the seat you're running for, though.
No. So she's District 9. That's Jaxie Ferguson that's running for District 9. I'm District 1, which has a 15-year incumbent. Of the 9 county council seats, we have 3 that directly serve developers. One is a lender for developers, one is an attorney for developers, and one is a real estate appraiser. Everybody needs to look at what their town and county council members do for a living.
Man.
I never thought about it before I ran. But when I looked up the conflicts of interest, it's very obvious how we got to where we're at with this overdevelopment issues. So I'm running against a real estate appraiser.
Oh, wow.
His clients are large landowners that sell to developers. So he gets to plan the infrastructure around his clients' properties. He gets to zone. If it's not annexed into municipality, then a lot of the areas in our rural urban boundary in the county are under county zoning. So they get to decide how many houses go there. And
this is literally a fox in the hen house situation, is it
yes,
not?
It's legal as long as they're not directly influencing their outcomes, but they can absolutely support infrastructure improvements around their clients' properties.
We got Trump creating his own meme coins out there and making money. So this whole world of ethics is just kind of flown by the wayside anyway.
It fits.
Jenna, quick trivia question for you. Between you and Katie, who paid more to file to run for office?
I know that Katie did.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I'll tell you, she paid $830 approximately to file for office. How much did you pay?
I paid originally, I believe it was $206,
$208.
but it was refunded by Jamie Harrison.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he
refunded all house candidates.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
How did you not know it? Yeah.
That's really exciting.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise to find in my mailbox. My check came right back to me, and I ripped that thing up.
Yeah.
So why did Katie have to pay so much more?
It's because county council members make so much more money.
Okay, so then, Jenna, why did you decide to run for such a low-paying position and not do the smart thing and run for a county council seat and make some moolah?
Oh, well, all of the jobs I've had in my life, I haven't been attracted to them because of the high pay. I started as a social worker and then became a registered nurse, and now I'm a postpartum doula. So I don't get into what I do for the cash or the prestige. I care about people, and I would like to be a state house rep because I care about South Carolinians. I don't know. I just have a passion for it. And I know it's a terrible financial decision for my family, but sometimes you just got to do what's right.
I don't believe we have any doulas on the House floor today.
We don't.
And that's what we really need.
You need some.
Yeah, we definitely need that diversity of
have
career, experience, knowledge. I mean, too many lawyers. I mean, nothing against the lawyers, and you do need to have legal knowledge.
But the lack of diversity is what leads to the gaps. And when they hear diversity, they're thinking that we're talking about ethnicity or race. That's not necessarily it. You need a diversified career group sitting on that floor. Just, we won't go into the women's rights thing, but we got a whole floor of men saying what they know should happen with women.
Right.
I think the thing that keeps people away is the salary. That's the first conversation I have with every single candidate. Do you understand the time commitment? Do you understand the salary? I know that the legislators bumped up their pay but that's not bumping pay. You can't raise a family on that salary
I think
Tuesday
all they're
through
doing
Thursday.
Is they're just trying to cover operating costs.
Yeah,
as
just
I
the
see
operating costs. It's not the actual salary, but you have to be up there Tuesday through Thursday, sometimes Mondays and Fridays for committee hearings in the summer. You don't have time off, and you're always on call from your constituents. You're always on call.
Especially, last week we talked with Katie Crosby, and she wants to give out her phone number and have people call her about potholes. I mean, that to me, that would drive me nuts. I wouldn't be doing that, but some of these candidates, they want to be very much accessible 24/7.
Let's put it into perspective here. Since y'all brought up money and what they make, house candidates or house reps make, they make what would be considered poverty.
Yes.
And what would
if
make
that
them,
was your only job, yes.
And would make them eligible for the Medicaid that they continue to say don't expand.
Yeah. Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same
Isn't it ironic?
for county council. I would make $20,000.
Oh, you just above the...
Oh, now you're bragging.
Just above.
Money bags.
So,
I mean, I think it's set up on purpose like that to keep out younger professionals that aren't rolling in
Good
the dough.
observation.
You know?
There are states where the legislators are full-time employees. They make an annual salary. They're in session all year long with a break here and there. That is an operating model. South Carolina wants to... I don't know, just like they do with the working class, they want to get all of the work and have to expend the least amount of money and investment to do it. And that is even reflected in the legislators, which is why you end up with real estate assessors running for county council. He doesn't need the money for sure. He's got his own business.
Yeah.
I don't know what your opponent, Jenna, does for a living. Joe Bustos?
He's a career politician by now. He was in the military and a police officer, but now he flies private jets, private planes.
Nice.
I believe he gives lessons. So that seems like a little out of touch with the working people.
Yeah.
I don't know many working people that can
Actually,
take
my guy
flying
was
lessons.
a pilot too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Our opponents are beyond retirement age.
Yeah.
Both.
I was born in 1980. My opponent was born in 1950. So I've got
we watched
30 years
a
less.
clip of Representative Joe White. And this guy's about 97 years old. He's a state house rep, and he was up there singing a commercial from the 1950s about Ipana toothpaste.
He did.
Like, I've never even heard that toothpaste, but he was singing Bucky the Beaver singing about Ipana toothpaste. Like, who else, except if you were born in the 1940s, would even know that cartoon or that commercial? So you need to have a fresh perspective.
We're seeing so many retired age individuals running because they have already had their career, made their money, don't have childcare to worry about, not trying to feed a family. And it really does become, and that's a reason we're not seeing a lot of women running. The six of us can vouch for that, I'm sure, that you cannot afford childcare and run for a campaign. That money has to come from somewhere else. It's not gonna. It's obviously not. It's not fixed by donations. You have to figure out how you're going to get your kids taken care of and make sure that their summer camp is paid for while you're spending all of your time and money on a campaign.
That's the strategy of the state.
It is.
The strategy of the state is to do what with women? It's definitely not to promote them.
It's to keep them down.
It's to keep them down.
Lock
So
them out of the
you
room.
take away the resources that would put them in a position to challenge any of the men that are there and see what happens.
We
They're
have
very
seen
strategic.
that. Yes, we have seen that firsthand, and we are constantly reminding ourselves that's why it's so important that we are staying in the race, even when it feels like you're a Democrat, there's no point. What are you doing?
Well, what did we learn a few months ago? That South Carolina has the second lowest percentage of female representation in the General Assembly out of all the states in the United States. Second. The only state that was worst was West Virginia.
Yeah.
That's no consolation.
And that's when we count the Republican women and Democratic
Correct.
women.
Yeah, good point.
If we talk about Democratic women, I think that we're the lowest in the country when we talk about Democratic women representing us. But with the childcare thing, wasn't it Representative Spencer Wetmore that tried to introduce legislation to allow campaign
she got it
donation?
through.
She got it through
Yeah.
the House.
But it took a lot, and I don't know that it was ever signed. You're probably right about that.
And we're not getting enough campaign donations to be able to spend on childcare anyways.
No.
I mean, there's the Democratic candidates in this state are scrappy.
Yeah.
We run really thin, narrow campaigns.
Yeah.
So speaking of campaigns, Jenna, you're on the campaign trail, and I've watched a few of your videos. You have a very good social media presence, so congratulations there. What's a top issue that you want people to know you for?
I think the issue that I'm most passionate about is maternal health care. Because we, in South Carolina, we are 8th worst for maternal mortality, and that is moms dying during childbirth, while they're pregnant, or during the postpartum period. And as a postpartum doula, I work with clients who have had very serious close calls, clients who have had to go out of state to get very necessary life-saving care when they haven't been able to receive it in state because of our lack of OBGYNs or because of our draconian abortion bans.
What is it that the state legislature should do in order to improve that situation? How can they help?
Well, they can elect people who actually know about the topic and know firsthand how it affects everyday people.
But let's say you're in. What are the type of laws or policies that would make any impact in that number? Take us out of 8th worst and move us into 10th worst or some other improvement.
Right. We've got to pass bills that make it so the OBGYNs we have here aren't scared to practice, who don't feel like they have to call up the hospital lawyer before they give a woman a D&C when she is having a miscarriage. I think the old white men at the top who are making these terrible dangerous bills, they have no clue what all goes into it. They just think, oh, this will stop abortions in our state. Well, do they know anything about pregnancies that grow in the fallopian tube?
Probably not.
Probably not. Can they find a fallopian tube?
I was going to say, they don't even know what that is.
Anatomy chart? I don't know.
Our U.S. Senator from South Carolina, Tim Scott, sent out a fundraiser email, talked about how Democrats want to allow abortion up to 12 months of pregnancy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was his campaign fundraiser. 12 months.
12 months.
Right up there with elephants and donkeys.
He's so in touch with women and reality. Wow.
No clue.
And it's really funny because you talk about Republicans and the conservatives say that the government should not be involved in medical care. So they're never for, enabling what care you can get. But boy, do they love to talk about what care you can't get.
Yep.
They love banning care, but they're never about bringing about care.
If it's going to interfere with their plan. They're only for what promotes their train of thought.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a train of thought. Like, they're told how to think.
Good.
They're told, these are the bills you should do. This is how you must think. This is how you must vote. There's literally a Republican playbook that every state, the national party tells them, you need to introduce this legislation and this is how it's going to be written. Yeah. 10 Commandments in schools. They're told this is how you need to vote. This is the legislation you need to put out. So I don't think that they think for themselves.
Yeah.
Now, Katie, at the county level, you have a different set of issues. What do you see, before we get into issues, what do you see as the difference between a county representative versus a state house representative and the types of bills they can enact or what you're responsible for?
At the county level, we're really going to be working on ordinances. That's sort of the version of a law. And so you can do animal welfare ordinances, you can do zoning ordinances, you can do something like a tax on developers. A developer impact fee is something that our town does, the town of Mount Pleasant does. And so that developer impact fee is a tax assessed on each home that is built before it's sold, and the developer pays that, and that goes to pay for the growth that new development is causing. So roads and school facilities get that money, and that relieves some of the budget for the school district because they have money freed up. They're getting their school building improvements somewhat supplemented. So municipalities, our municipality does do that, but the county does not. And so CCSD is in need of additional funds. They're not interested in raising taxes. That's fine. But if we tax developers for the growth they created, we can have some relief on taxpayers.
You have to sympathize with the average citizen who's not so plugged in because you've got state funding, you've got county funding, you have city funding.
Yes.
You've got state regulations, county regulations, city regulations, and they all interweave with each other. State makes funds, the county takes some, city takes, it's just nuts. So it's really tough to keep it all
There's
together.
A lot of layers, and it's really hard to be an informed voter and a citizen that knows who to talk to when there's an issue. And a lot of times citizens are going to talk to their elected representatives and being ignored anyways.
What is it that you're going to bring to the council as your top issues that you're going to be passionate about and yell at all the other council members about and be the one that's going to champion this cause?
I will use my one vote out of 9 that I get to push ordinances that slow development. We're obviously not going to stop development. It's happening, but the growth needs to be directed towards areas that we already have infrastructure to support it. So if we have areas that are in need of revitalization, that are already concreted up and already have the electrical and sewer and water hooked in, then that is where workforce housing is great. And if we can get transit hooked up, then we're creating a smart growth community instead of urban sprawling into another floodplain. That can be done with ordinances. And then when individuals who are prioritizing developers over residents' quality of life vote against those ordinances, they're called out on the carpet. Right now, no one's pushing them to expose their priorities, but I will.
Yeah.
Well, when you win in
Yeah.
November, Jumelle
Yeah.
and I will on November 4th, or I guess you won't be sworn in until January. So
That's right.
On January 1st, we're going to lodge a complaint with you because she and I tried to visit a state park yesterday at the harbor, and we were denied entrance. It was closed, and we were sad that we came all the way this down and we couldn't even see the water.
I'm so terribly sorry for
That's
you.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. We were looking for a comment card so we could leave our input. Yeah.
Those are the questions that people at all levels of government get. And I expect elected officials to say, actually, that's not my arena, but here's a great resource for it, or here's someone you can call. Constituent services needs to be a part of local elected officials'
Well said.
jobs.
I like the way you said that.
Jenny, let's turn our attention to you for a few minutes here before we end up. You have an interesting story as well, how you came into this position of shepherding all of these candidates. Let's talk about what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I run a company called Just Getting Started Strategies, where we help you get started and more.
I
So
like it.
that's our saying. We help a lot of first-time candidates, a lot of female candidates, a lot of LGBTQ candidates, people who are underrepresented in our government.
Like you found a niche of candidates,
Yes.
and that is your target audience.
I like
This is what
this.
she wrote on her website, and I love this part. You wrote, "Getting started is the hardest part."
Yes.
Like that, as a two-time candidate myself, sometimes, the easy part is you sign up and pay the check, and then you're like a deer in headlights the next day. Like, now what?
Yeah.
And you
What
wrote,
have I done?
you wrote, "Launching a campaign can feel overwhelming, especially if it's your first time. That's why we specialize in helping you take those first critical steps from compliance to communications so you can move forward with clarity, confidence, and a strong foundation."
Yep.
I love that line.
Yep.
That's
That's
a little applause.
oh, thank you.
that's
But
a
yeah,
good-
that's what we do. I actually met Jenna through the Emerge program, where I did some training for the
Okay.
Emerge program, and she actually started working on her campaign in September of last year.
Good.
Where we built her messaging out. We built her call time schedule. We built everything out to prepare for a January launch. Because running for office isn't just putting your name on the ballot and thinking everything is going to come easily. You have to do so much, like especially filing with the IRS, filing with the ethics committee, getting a website, getting a texting program. So I actually made a guide that I just freely share with people, and people are like, "You should charge for this." I'm like, "No, I'm good." So I just send that out to just like all brand new candidates who are running, just like, here's your initial steps, here's how you get started.
I think it's a very valuable service that you offer. And at the same time of running this consulting firm, you also went for your doctorate.
I did.
What was that? Why? Why are you? What is wrong?
I'm a
that you
sucker
felt
for
like-
pain.
Yeah.
Right. What is this self-infliction of pain?
Well, I was bored.
Well, let's start with what your doctorate was in. What did you go for?
So I got a doctorate in public policy and administration, and I just finished my dissertation on the impact of super political action committees on abortion legislation in a post-Dobbs era.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's
it was
deep.
looking at how much dark money goes into pro-abortion and anti-abortion candidates, and seeing if it impacts their elections. And I'm actually working with my committee chair to get it published.
That must have taken you to some dark places.
Oh, it did. And it made me so mad with campaign finance. It made me so mad to see how so many people are just getting millions and millions of dollars spent on their elections because they're seen as winnable. And so all this money is flooded into these campaigns, and we need election ethics. We need ethics in this country. We need ethics in our state house.
Oh, no,
because
we need ethics in the people first.
Yes, we do.
That's where we need the
we
ethics.
do. We need
People.
campaign finance reform.
Yeah.
And so
that's a good
I
topic.
was actually in 2023, after my first cycle as a political consultant, I was like, I'm bored because it's not election season. I was like, what should I do? And I was like, law school, doctorate. And then I found Walden University, and their entire motto is positive social change. How will you impact positive social change in everything you do? And I was just like, man, if Trump found out about this school, they'd shut it down because they sell LGBTQ stuff in the in the school store. And so I was just like, I need to do something. And I took this, and it took a while to discover the topic, but I'm so tired of
And
the
when
money.
did you get your doctorate?
I officially finished in June. I
And have
believe
you
it
received
was.
it? Have you got the tassel on your
No. Graduation's not till January.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
No, boo.
But we're
Yeah,
going to go to
yeah.
New Orleans for graduation.
That's
so y'all
right.
are all invited.
There you go.
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
We're going to New Orleans.
As I'm watching Jenny talk about her dissertation, how many campaign managers do you know that have done that work. Like my campaign manager is better than your campaign manager.
Oh, well, I might take offense to that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to
You're
say,
allowed. I'm talking to the general public because in South Carolina, and I will give props to Brady Quirk-Garvin, who was on your show,
love him.
is responsible for, even though they were recruiting, State House bench, he also was saying on this phone call, no one's coming to run for those county council seats either, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. Someone on this phone call is going to run. Cool. Yeah. That's so great. It ended up being me.
Good.
And we were also excited about having all these new candidates, but we didn't realize that there wasn't infrastructure set up for all of us.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're looking for, people are giving us names of campaign managers and we're calling them and they're like, clearly they know I'm not making them $100,000 this year.
Yeah.
And so they very quickly lose interest and take bigger races. Fair enough. But Jenny having the will to work with brand new candidates with a huge learning curve, unknown amount of money that they can raise, really makes a huge difference in a candidate's ability to run.
Well, let's make sure that you visit, listener, visit JGS Strategies. We'll have a link to that website in our show notes. Take a look. But we need to wrap things up. Jenna, I would like to give you a moment for some final words. What would you like to leave the audience with an impression of?
Okay. I am very motivated to be a household name in District 112.
For good reasons, though.
For good reasons, yeah. I want to be known as your leader who you can contact, who will meet you out for a cup of coffee to discuss your concerns. I want to hold town halls. I want to hold listening sessions. I take the role of representative very seriously. I'm not here to push my own agenda. I'm here to listen to the people in my district and actually bring their concerns to Columbia. And I know my competitor, he does not have interest in doing that. So I've been listening to people and advocating for people my whole career. So I definitely have these transferable skills. And I'm not interested in making rich people richer. I'm here to help everyday people. I think everyday people need so much help with the cost of living emergency we're living through right now. That's a huge priority. The roads in my district are a mess. The public schools. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there that are just being ignored by this career politician who is sitting in my seat.
I think a fresh face is certainly what we need. And Katie, how about you? Some final words for our audience.
My goal is that we stop using local government as a concierge for developers. I think that we need to pay attention to what our local elected officials do for a living and if they gain anything financially from their council positions. That's really what is preventing us from having safe, healthy, smart growth communities. We're falling to the pressure of developers. And I can do that in a way that doesn't cause undue hardship to landowners. They are allowed to sell their land. They're allowed to sell their land to whoever they would like to. But we can set parameters, healthy, good parameters around how our communities add more housing.
Well said.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. Thank you to Jenna Arsenault and Katie Miller and Jenny Atchley for sharing their stories and priorities as candidates and campaign managers looking to make South Carolina a better place for all families. We wish you great success. We need you to have great success. Thank you also to Pastor Thomas Dixon and the Charleston County Democratic Party for use of your headquarters as our temporary recording studio. We hope you enjoyed what you heard today. Please take a quick minute and leave us a rating and a review of this show. We really want to know what you think. Your reviews help others find our show and spread the word. If you do, we will find Jenny 10 more candidates to mother.
Hey.
Get her that $100,000 salary that she so deserves.
Yes.
If you are a blue dot in a red sea, keep the faith. Keep up the hard work. Change only happens over many years of work and dedication. Today's closing quote, Jumelle, comes from Richard Lamb. This is a name most haven't heard of. He was an American politician, writer, and attorney, but he served 3 terms as the Democratic governor of Colorado in the 70s and 80s. And then he ran for president under the Reform Party nomination.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if anybody remembers the Reform Party. That was back in the day. But he did say the following: America does not need another political campaign based on denial and avoidance of some of our real problems. It needs a crusade to reform and renew our country, its institutions, and political system. And I think our candidates meet that criteria perfectly.
Agree.
That's why
We're
I picked
ready.
it.
I love it.
I agree. The end.
The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media LLC. Copyright 2026.